Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today I'm going to be ranking Sam Riegel's player characters. I'm going to be ranking 4 of them: Loquacious, FCG, Not/Beth, and Scanlan. So let's get into it. And in last but fourth, and I still love this character, is FCG. FCG, we don't know much about him yet. Just like Chetney in the last video, we don't know much about him at all. We know he's formerly part of a adventuring group who are all dead, and that he is suppressing the memories of the attack. That's all we know about FCG at the moment, realistically. Anything major, everything else is kind of minor. And unfortunately, that's just not enough for me to say that he ranks with the other characters that Sam has made so far. Of course, this is going to change. FCG is going to become the sleep hit character. He's not going to just be a joke character, which he's pretty well been a little bit of a joke character, like from the beginning till now. But eventually he's going to be some sort of emotional crux, like every other Sam Riegel character has been before. So I feel confident putting him here for now, or them here for now, and eventually FCG will be probably way higher up on this list. But for now, FCG has to be at the bottom. Still love FCG. There's so much potential with this character. It's just a little too early for me to put them any higher. And in third is Loquacious. Loquacious is Sam's EXU Calamity character, and by God, do I love this character. This character goes through a journey. This one is being recorded after episode 4 of Calamity, so mild spoilers for the next minute and a half. His story is sad. He is a guy who just wants to protect the woman he loves, and in the end, it sort of ends up making the calamity sort of happen. Not necessarily happen, but it makes it a little worse by him basically helping Liren hide everything that she's been doing. She creates a weapon or tool for the Betrayer Gods to potentially use to bring back the Emperor and the Empress. And he hides that. That is something he is doing because he loves her and wants to protect her and wants no one to think she's bad. He is burying the truth as the voice or the herald of Avalier, and that's crazy. And the character knows he's doing wrong, and he just wants to protect her. And that like mini story that they had for Loquacious and Liren was awesome and great. I do think if we had a little bit more, this is why I want to have like a book or some sort of prequel series leading up into EXU Calamity, because I want a little bit more about each of these characters. But until then, the story that we have for Loquacious is great. I look at Loquacious and Liren as like if the Briarwoods were like doing the wrong thing for the right reasons in their minds. They're just doing the Briarwoods were bad. They were just doing bad things. But Loquacious and Liren think they're doing the right thing, but they're doing the wrong thing. And I really like that. Maybe the Briarwoods think they're doing the right thing too. But there's better intentions behind what Liren and Loquacious do. And I feel like if you put the two groups of characters, the Briarwoods and Loquacious and Liren, they're very similar. And I really like that. There's a lot of parallels there, and I really enjoyed them in the 4 episodes we got, and Loquacious was one of the best parts of EXU Calamity. So, first of all, if you haven't watched EXU Calamity, go watch it. But we're going to move on to number 2, because I don't want to say too much about Loquacious, not to spoil anything for anybody. And for number 2 is Scanlan Shorthaul. At the start of his journey, the typical bard who just goes around and has sex with everyone or whatever he can, and he's a mild pig in some instances while playing through the first quarter of Critical Role until we get to the emotional crux of his character, which is his daughter stepping in and all that. His daughter stepping in changed a lot of things for Scanlan. He, for a while, was just a guy in the background for a lot of things until she showed up. Once she showed up, it kind of gave him something to fight for. at first he was fighting for his friends, but this was a lot deeper. And up until this point, he was, this is where I think he truly turned his I'm just trying to like sleep with Pike into I genuinely really like Pike, because he saw more to life once he realized he had a daughter. And this character changed so much. He started going through a character arc. Up until this point, there wasn't much of a character. He was a joke character, which is a very, common thing for Sam. Until it gets to an emotional breaking point. And his was when he is axed off by Raishan. Sorry if you haven't seen Campaign 1 yet. I'm pretty sure that's fairly common knowledge anyway. And when Vox Machina go to bring him back, he says, don't bring my daughter in. And they do it anyway. And when he gets back from the dead, he comes back, he is pissed. He's angry. They didn't listen to him. Then he goes on a tirade asking if anyone has ever listened to him before. And because of that, he leaves. And then we get Terry. Oh, shit, I should be talking about Terry, too. Terry would be number 5, I think. Just to put that out there. He'd be below FCG for me. Anyway, I think that for Scanlan, his character made a full 180 during the 1-year time skip of Critical Role, where he came back as the Meat Man and was trying to give information to the guys and, kind of trying to do his own sort of mini apology, but at the same time, he was in the right to be angry. So it was kind of an interesting dynamic. He was right to have left, but he was wrong to be as spiteful toward the group. And because of that, he had a fun arc in the last 20 episodes of trying to redeem himself, but also trying to make sure that everyone knows that he was still kind of right in what he did. He didn't do it because he hated them. He did it because he was angry with them because they didn't listen. And they've never done anything for him up until any point after, until bringing him back. And then, even by the end, he is still helping them more than they help him. And it's kind of sad when you think about it. Scanlan is along for the ride, and you can really feel it for a lot of him. And there are points where he gets his own. He gets to be the one to truly defeat Vecna. Without Scanlan, they were screwed in that fight. Terry was not helping them. Scanlan destroyed Vecna in that fight, and Scanlan was the first sign that Sam is a master at playing D&D. He got closer to Vecna to counterspell him, and it was perfect, and he caught everyone off guard with it. It was amazing. Scanlan's a great character. That little exchange with him and Vecna is the perfect microcosm of what Scanlan's character is. He is a sleep hitter, sleep killer. He's the guy who's going to be waiting in the background until you absolutely need him, and then he will fuck you up. That is what Scanlan is, and I love the character. And number 1 is Beth Bernardo / Not the Brave. I love this character. From beginning to end, this character was great. At first, all Beth or Not cared about was Caleb. Making sure Caleb became strong enough to do whatever the hell Caleb wanted. That's what Beth or Not, I'm going to say Not for now, that's what Not really wanted. Not thought that the Beth Bernardo life was gone, and that the only way that she could become Beth again was for Not to help Caleb. And Caleb needed to be stronger. So she goes on this journey with them. She meets up with the rest of the 9. And as she becomes a motherly figure to the 9 and more of that Beth Bernardo side comes out, Not slowly sort of thinks that there might be more than one way, but truly believes Caleb is the way. And for a long time sides with Caleb until we get to a point where Caleb is strong enough to turn Beth back into Beth. And then once that happens, she is now a mother figure. She is now truly a mother figure. Beforehand, she was kind of just a mother figure to Caleb and a little bit to Jester, but and an antagonist to Ford. But once she became Beth, she became the true mother of the group and began to care about what everyone else had to do. Because Caleb did the thing she needed him to, and now she could expand her horizons to everyone else. She truly started caring. Even Ford got a bit of love from her. Everyone got love with the exception of Caduceus, who didn't need it because he's Caduceus. And to go with Veth's sort of arc, we also got introduced to her family, her life before she was not the Brave, as she was not the Brave. She had to encounter them before she was fixed, before she was back, and she was very scared about that idea until she ended up seeing Luke, and she got another resolve from that to transform back into Veth. Her character from going from the halfling who hates goblins to be turned into a goblin to the idea of maybe she has to embrace being a goblin because she might not be able to turn back into a halfling, and then being able to turn back into that halfling was an awesome experience. Watching that character grow as she realized that being not isn't the worst thing in the world. It could always be worse. She could be dead. And the character evolved on so many levels and began spreading out to other characters, and just instead of just being with Caleb. At first she was super resigned to Caleb. She was sticking by Caleb, and by the end of it, she was everyone's family. And I truly think this character is Sam's best character. Without a doubt, Sam's best character is the goblin rogue who's literally capable of transforming her face into a halfling rogue. I think that was a great story. And she didn't use halfling luck. Gotta always appreciate someone not using something because they think it's broken. Yeah. Also, the family dynamic she has with her real family once she's an adventurer and potentially leaving the group on several occasions before the story's over is also an interesting little story dynamic that she introduced, or that Sam introduced. I really liked that Sam played with the idea and then decided to stick with the party until it was over. That was much more fulfilling than Sam changing to another character and then switching back to Veth at some point. Thank God that didn't happen. And I have virtually no complaints about Not. Where I have other complaints about other characters, Not and Veth, zero. Zero complaints. Loved the character to death. Even when Veth had the cursed knife and did actually use that halfling luck, it was perfect because it was like, I'm not using it. Oh, fuck it. I can use it now against my friends. That was perfect. I love Not. I love her entire character. I love everything Sam did with Not and Veth. I just, can't get over how good Veth Bernardo was. Can't get over how good Not the Brave was. Because she was truly, at the end of the day, with a little bit of booze, the bravest. And there you have it, my ranking of Sam Riegel's player characters +1 with Terry. I can't believe I forgot Terry, but he is definitely number 5. So, yeah, no worries about that. Anyway, that's my list. Next list will be on Friday, and it'll be Marisha's characters, and I will be wrapping up the main cast that played in EXU, and then everyone else will be following. So, we've got the next few weeks of videos planned out, and I'm very excited to see where I put everybody, because I don't know until I'm making the list where I put them, even though this one's list was almost, I'm pretty sure, identical to how I listed Travis's characters. Marisha's will be very different, and I already know this, because I know who is my least favorite Marisha character. So, yeah. We'll get into it next on Friday. Yeah. See you guys then. Peace.